The City of the Dead, a forgotten civilization of silence and stone. Prologue, where the living do not stay. There are places in the world where silence does not feel empty. It feels deliberate. Places where the wind slows as it passes, careful not to disturb what sleeps beneath layers of stone and time. Where even footsteps seem unwelcome, echoing longer than they should. High in the Caucasus Mountains of Russia stands such a place. From a distance, it appears like a village long abandoned small stone houses scattered across a hillside. Untouched by modern life, no smoke rises from chimneys. No voices call from doorways, because this city was never built for the living. It was built for those who crossed the final threshold and never returned. Chapter 1. The Mountains That Guarded the Dead. Near the quiet village of Dargavs lies a valley sealed by towering mountains. For centuries, these peaks stood like guardians, shielding the land from outsiders and protecting the traditions of those who lived there. The isolation shaped everything. Here, death was not hidden beneath soil or sealed away in darkness. It was lifted into the open air, visible, acknowledged, and respected. The dead were not buried and forgotten. They were given a place in the world. Chapter 2. A civilization that lived with death. The Ossetian people believed death was not an ending, but a passage. To them, the boundary between life and death was thin, almost gentle. The dead did not vanish. They simply moved on into another city, built alongside the living world. Rather than lowering bodies into the earth, they raised stone crypts above ground, allowing the deceased to remain part of the landscape they once walked. Death was not feared, it was accepted. Chapter 3. Architecture of the Afterlife. Across the hillside rose more than 90 stone crypts, each one shaped like a small house. Some stood tall with pointed roofs, others low and wide, reflecting the families they belonged to. These were not mass graves. They were homes meant to last forever. Inside, bodies were placed carefully on wooden platforms. Some lay side by side, as if resting together. Others were added over time, generation after generation, until bones overlapped and memories blurred. Small windows were left open, not for sunlight, and not for visitors, but for the soul to find its way. Chapter 4. A City Without Names. One truth defines the city of the dead above all else. No one can be identified. There are no names carved into stone. No dates to mark a beginning or an end. No records to preserve individual lives. Identity lived only in memory, and memory fades. When families disappeared through war, migration, or disease, the stories vanished with them. What remained were bones without labels, lives without written history, humanity stripped of names. Chapter 5. The Great Plague. Then came the plague. It moved silently through villages, killing entire families. With no medicine and little understanding of disease, the people believed one thing above all else: if the sick stayed, everyone would die. So they made an impossible choice. Those who felt the first symptoms walked to the crypts on their own. They carried small amounts of food and water. They carried faith. And they carried the knowledge that they would never return. They entered the stone chambers and waited. They did not die in fear. They died in duty. Chapter 6. Waiting for Death. Inside the crypts, time slowed. Days passed, then weeks, then silence. The mountain air preserved what remained. Bodies decomposed slowly, collapsing where they lay. Wooden platforms creaked under stillness. Bones settled into place. This is why, even now, skeletal remains can still be seen exactly where life ended. Death here was not sudden. It was endured. Chapter 7. Boats for the Final Journey. Among the remains, archaeologists found something unexpected: small wooden boats. There were no rivers nearby. No practical reason for their presence, only belief. The Ossetians believed the soul must cross water to reach the afterlife. The boat was not a symbol of mourning, it was a tool for passage. Even in death, they prepared for the journey ahead. Chapter 8. Fear replaces faith. As generations passed, belief slowly transformed into fear. Legends spread through whispered voices that anyone who entered the city of the dead would never leave alive. That spirits guarded the crypts. That disturbing the bones would invite disaster. Eventually, villagers stopped coming altogether. The city became forbidden not by law but by terror. And in that fear, it was preserved. Chapter 9. Rediscovery by the modern world. Centuries later, historians and archaeologists returned. They did not find treasure. They did not uncover hidden secrets. Instead, they found something far more unsettling: a perfectly preserved relationship between humans and death. Nothing had been looted, nothing rearranged. The dead remained exactly where they were left. Chapter 10. The City Today. Today, the City of the Dead is protected as a historical site. Visitors walk slowly, speaking softly, understanding that this is not a ruin but a resting place. No restoration hides the truth. Bones remain visible. Time stands still. This city is not meant to comfort. It is meant to remember. Epilogue: What the dead left behind. The City of the Dead has no names, no biographies, no voices. Yet it tells one of the most powerful stories humanity can leave behind: that people once faced death together, that they sacrificed for their community. That memory mattered more than identity. In this city, the dead do not speak, but they are heard.